Hi Capricorn, welcome to your general reading for February 2021. I hope this video finds each and every one of you at your highest vibrations and just feeling like your best self, full of love and the best energy that you could be feeling right now. Shouldn't be too hard because the first thing that I do want to talk about is Venus in Capricorn. Venus moved into your sign on January 8th and it's going to be there until February 1st. And what that is ultimately going to mean for you, because you still have Pluto chilling with you. You know, it's been a month now since the Great Conjunction happened. We also just entered into Aquarius season, so we've already dealt with Capricorn season and you've had your time to really just be with yourself. And a big theme of Venusian energy came in for you whenever I was kind of sitting with the energy, doing your pre-shuffles and just like gaining all the perspective that I needed to jump into your reading for February. And everything that you had kind of went through in January and in this last little stretch of time, you know, that we had in Capricorn season in general. And I think that Venus is helping shake a little bit of things up for you guys, and in a really good way of shaking things up. Not necessarily like shake up energy where you feel like bothered by it. It's going to be like just an energy that's going to literally reinvent your life, because Venus is all about beauty and compassion and creativity and feminine energy and having all that you need and resource wise. You know, I say that because the Empress was a really strong influence in your pre-shuffle, and so was like the Queen of Wands, and just this energy of like being confident and exuding like everything you need, like, which is totally Venusian energy. It's that energy that you feel whenever everything is like complete and you feel like, you know, you're just really at home within yourself. Comfort levels are there on all different types of forms, or in all different types of forms. So like, that was one of the first things that came through with you guys, is like, be working with this Venus energy. I'm going to post this video before February even gets here, so that way in hopes most of you that see this video that aren't actively working with Venusian energy right now put mindfulness into doing so, because like I said, we do have its energy here till February, the beginning of February. So it's still a couple more weeks to kind of deal with this. The other thing I want to talk about is Pluto still being in your sign is the planet of rebirth. So it being channeled with this Venusian energy. When Venus and Pluto kind of pair up, it's a time to add a little bit of, I'm just going to use nurturing and like sensitivity and like a different sense of like motherly aspect to this energy that Pluto was kind of ripping you to shreds and making you rebirth yourself and like turn into this new form. It's huge energy. Like, you know, like it definitely feels a lot less crowded than whenever Jupiter and Saturn were chilling with you before the Great Conjunction and, you know, them hopping into Aquarius. But the energy left behind of Pluto is just like a little dark sometimes and a little bit too much to handle. So I want to let you guys know that like Venus right now is your light that's coming in to help shine it on that area. You know, it's also probably going to help to shine a light of on a lot of you guys' lives where your love life is more influenced now. You know, maybe that's a rebirth energy in yourself. I keep thinking the birth of Venus, because the rebirth energy that Pluto is doing along with it right now, they're kind of like, you know, chilling in the same sign right now. And Capricorn is all about practicality in your approach and planning things and things like running the way that you need them to, because, you know, Capricorn's gonna have it their way at the end of the day. Like, and I don't mean like their way in a negative sense, but like if there's any other way that you probably want it in the zodiac sign, it's probably going to be Capricorn's way, because they literally are foundation themselves. Like the best things are built upon a Capricorn mindset normally. And with it being channeled with this Venus, is definitely a time to like offer it or bring in the new offers of love, to express love in a different way or a more practical way than you normally would. Just in general, maybe you guys are stepping into a whole new energy where your mind's perception on what love is and how you treat others is changed, because mental clarity came up a whole lot as well in your pre-shuffle, and you guys gaining just new mindsets in general, and kind of like sitting with a time with this like almost like Venusian energy for you guys have been more reflective than anything. That's where the feminine energy has been touching you on the inside. And I think it's definitely a time to just feel like you've come the furthest that you could ever have come, and you're like standing at this threshold. I kept like seeing like this door frame that a lot of you guys haven't actually stepped through. A lot of you guys have kind of ran through that door, but there were so many that were just like paused right before the energy that you're supposed to be in. And you guys need to just kind of like hop into that, really start to embrace it, and start to embrace this new sense of self and this new you that you could be. Because even though you have Pluto chilling with you until 2024, it's still going to be doing its work on you, but I think it's forming you in the small little details that you need now. Whereas like Pluto's been hanging out with you for a while and causing this like rebirth energy. And then, like I said, you were bombarded by all those other planets that came in and hung out with you for a while. And it causes a lot of chaos when there's so much going on in one sign. And Capricorn is already a lot of chaos. Like, it doesn't need any more. So enjoy this breath of reprieve. I think you guys are in the final stages of clearing out this new sense of being. 2021's energy in general is going to bring on this new sense of self for you guys. I dropped a card. I'm not going to take it because I haven't even started yet. But let's go ahead and jump into your reading for February. This is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for February 2021. Bottom of the deck, we got the Eight of Swords, restrictions, feeling trapped, a little bit of a boundary there, but like honestly, you can shake those ropes off anytime and hop off of that energy, because we still got your like house right here in the background. These swords aren't even like pinning you down or anything like that. So a lot of you guys feel a little trapped right now, a little stuck with something. Maybe you guys are stuck in a state of place where you can't move forward right now in general, because we talked about so much what we were talking about in the beginning, and how you guys are, a lot of you are already pulling in this Venusian energy, and a lot of you guys aren't. Take off that blindfold and take off these little shackles and stuff, because a lot of you guys are just naturally feeling like, hey, I'm gonna like keep myself bound. First card out we have is the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is some kind of conflict, especially with the mind. And I did sit here and talk just a minute ago about so much of you guys doing reflection and changing the way that your mind works. But like one of the big messages that came in for you in your pre-shuffle was mental mastery. And you guys have entered into a state where you don't have these types of conflicts anymore. And the reason I'm like thinking that automatically without this having a clarifier or anything on top of it is because we have the Strength card in your challenge position right after that. So I think you guys are still working actively to like change this new mindset, to reform yourself. If you're forgetting something, or not forgetting something, but if you're supposed to be doing something, you've told yourself, oh, I want to live by this new sense of self, or like think this way. And then the second that you don't, your mind automatically goes, oh, aren't you supposed to be thinking this new way? Or you are able to like smack yourself really quick and be like, oh no, actually, I'm not supposed to be doing that. That's a return to the energy that I'm not trying to express anymore. So like this is definitely trying to overcome something that you're still dealing with. You guys could still be having just conflicts around you in general. But it looks like to me, because the first thing I noticed was the people that had already put down their swords. And there's just that cleanup energy right now. The cleanup of, I need to be sitting here thinking about these things. The Four of Swords was in your pre-shuffle as well, and I saw that a bunch of like introspective ways. So it seems like you've come out of that place where you've been sitting just thinking, and now you're like actually getting out there and like changing some things, setting some things down, or having things be able to be put down. But we're going to go into them further and clarify a little bit more. I'll go ahead and break these up. Can we clarify the Five of Swords for Capricorn? Clarified by the King of Cups. The Strength card is clarified by the Four of Swords. The Seven of Pentacles that is here is clarified by the Three of Pentacles. And the Knight of Wands is clarified by the Queen of Cups. Okay, so already so great. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit, card of Virgo for some of you. But Virgo, the Hermit's card is all about wisdom, honestly, at the end of the day, because he has so much information under him. He's like literally the wisest man, and he's got the star in his lantern. So he's ready to literally shine light on anything that he doesn't know or like thinks or sits and ponders. You know, why is the hermit popping into my head? Like, not the hermit, but a hermit crab. A lot of you guys might be dealing with some cancers right now or some Cancerian energy. Cancer is also you guys' polarity. So this could be, you know, cross-watching video or something that just happens to stumble upon it, that message being for you, that you guys are just sitting in that hermit mode right now, that crab mode where you're in your shell and kind of just being really, really introspective. But in general, that's where kind of you are sitting right now, Capricorn. Is a place where you're shining the light on things, because like I was just mentioning, you know, the Four of Swords is a card where you're like thinking about things and actively reflecting and saying, what do I need? What do I need to bring into my life? Or how do I need to assess the situation, whatever it is, whatever it's about. It's that pause and that reflection. And I said that you've moved on to this state where you're like actively actually taking charge now. This is Five of Swords is physical work. 5 is also the number of change. And you guys have kind of like done whatever this little battle is, or whatever this in general, I don't even know what to call it, because I don't feel like it was a battle. And if it was a battle, it was more with yourself, because we have the King of Cups, who is here clarifying the Five of Swords. Five of Swords, if you are having conflicts and just out of battle anyways, in general, King of Cups is saying that it deals with emotions. And I'm thinking that that's where you've kind of came out of. You've dealt with a place where right now you're sitting, and if not, then your moment of clarity needs to be to tap into the energy of the King of Cups, because the King of Cups has emotional sovereignty. He is balanced within himself. Nothing can disrupt him. He's literally sitting on the most like choppiest and like craziest of waves in the ocean, and he's on his platform like chill. He's like, I ain't really affected by this. I already know that like I feel a certain way, and like that this way is more empowering and of my highest self. So this isn't even worth feeling that. And this is your position for you. So let's move into your challenge position really quick. We will go back and kind of clarify and see deeper into like what the situation is. But we have the Strength card clarified by the Four of Swords. I did speak so much in the beginning of this reading about it taking so much. This is also a card of Leo. So if this is like you guys either have Leo in your chart, you're dealing with a Leo. This could have been somebody that you were having conflicts with, just because it is showing up in your challenge position. So maybe a lot of the mental skills and the mental battles have been something that you've just been actively communicating now about, because swords are also all about communication and getting something across. So could be dealing with that. But you also could have just been sitting in this time where, you know, it took a literal lot to get into this mode right here. And that's in your challenge position. So honestly, like I feel like a lot of you guys have already come out that, because in your you position, sitting there with that King of Cups, like you've already done that. Like regardless, I talked about this right before I even started really going into this. Like as soon as I pulled that clarifier, I hopped into this row and was like, you know, it's been a challenge to do this strength. It's taken a lot to persevere and overcome this. And that's right now in your challenge position. So like with it being in a challenge, I would say that if a lot of you guys haven't already spent the time reflecting and thinking with yourself, use that energy now to discern where you need to be doing what in your life, what you need to be actively seeking clarity on, where you have imbalance in your relationships or anything that causes your emotions. You know, sit with that energy one last time, even if it's really hard to do so. Sit with it one more time, so that way you don't sit in a place, because like regardless, this isn't a place that I would actively want to be. I really wouldn't want to be chilling with Five of Swords. Anytime I see any of the fives, like unless it's the Hierophant, I'm like we're dealing with change, we're dealing with like disruption, we're dealing with something that's kind of causing a little bit of like, I wouldn't say chaotic energy, but just something that doesn't always make you feel in your best state of being. So that could be a challenge for like some of you. And then we move on to your advice from Spirit. First card out is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is all about literally pause and reflect more than anything, because you can see he's got his pentacles on this tree. It's a symbolism of the seeds that you've planted starting to harvest, but he's like done all this hard work and now he's just sitting here spending time looking at them. But you can see one of these is already here. He's not putting on this tree, he's taking it down from this tree. So he's saying like, some of these things that are on my tree aren't really as fruitful as I thought that they would be, so maybe it's time to remove a few of these so that way the tree can truly flourish again, or these seeds that I planted. Regardless, it's a card of like thinking, and like it sits diagonally across from this Four of Swords, and then it goes right back into like sitting diagonally from that Five of Swords. So I kind of see those as all connected. You guys have been reassessing a whole lot in your life. And whatever this is bringing you in. It was more for yourself because it was in a place where most of you were kind of feeling like my mind literally just works too much. And oftentimes that can be Capricorn. You guys are always trying to like plan out your next approach or be practical about things, or just like, and it's a great way to like, you know, overthink in the best ways and to think about everything and anything. But like sometimes y'all just like sit there and overthink and like think about whatever for whatever freaking reason, like and it's like something that's beyond you, something you don't need to be thinking about, or something that's causing stress on you, or you know, causing the you know, your mental dexterity to just not be there the same that it is. And as soon as you know, take this advice from Spirit, it's clarified by the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is all about combining resources and just having people that help source you working together. It could be like the people, you've cut people out of your life that have not been helping you feel fruitful, and that could be where that Five of Swords conflict comes from, literally like cutting ties with people. But you know, advice from Spirit is telling you that the time that you spent pausing and reflect is definitely bringing in a little bit more energy of the people that you need around you. Those two messages just came in for whoever needs to hear them. And whatever, regardless, this action, this final outcome, we have the Knight of Wands. And he, sitting on this row in the top, is running backwards towards all this. He's like naturally charging right quick into this. And the Knight of Wands is all about the carry out of an idea or an action or a creative force. And if it's clarified with this Queen of Cups, that's also emotional sovereignty. Like I started to say it at the beginning, whenever I pulled out this row, we have the King and the Queen of Cups sitting right here, literally mirroring each other in between this energy, both looking toward each other. If anything, this Queen is looking more towards this cup or this King of Cups, and she's also looking through this 3 and this 4 that got herself there. Balance in between the stuff, because of the fact that these are sitting so strongly in the middle in these positions. I think this has been like a big state of being for you guys. It's literally like these cards are your mindsets, and like all that in between has really flourished, because in the bottom row it's much more I wouldn't say the top row is not positive, but it just shows like literally being so strained and not seeing things the way that you need to be seeing them, or you know, not having a clear goal on where you want to move forward. And that's just for some of you. Some of you are moving forward so well with this goal. You guys are like actively doing this work, and it's in such positive force because we have the King of Cups and Queen of Cups here. But I keep like getting this disruption with this Five of Swords. I cannot wait to go through and clarify and see what that is. But I would say that you're definitely in a place of more balance, because like we started the video talking about this Empress energy and this Venusian energy that we're kind of seeing with Capricorn right now. And this is like everything that I was talking about in the beginning, being more reflective and like actually taking the time to work on yourself and like get through this mental mastery and know where you need to go. And I can see that within this message, because this Five of Swords is the only really conflicting thing here, but everybody is literally kind of looking back toward it. Like every single person in these cards are all looking towards this Five of Swords. So it's almost like some of you could be waiting for conflict to come. I don't know what I'm doing with these cards because those are not my clarifiers. But let's go through and clarify now. This Five of Swords, really quick. Five of Wands. I talked about the fives are the only cards that make me... Five of Wands, literally battling it out. So a lot of you guys have been like... literally having competitions and conversations with people to help clear up this old energy, and it's taken a lot to get there. But we have the Six of Wands. So like we move automatically from the Five of Swords, Five of Wands, to the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is all about victory and success. And I think now very, very strongly that a lot of you guys are kind of coming out of this space where you've dealt with it. Like I said in the beginning, I felt like this is more cleaning up and just doing those last little couple things that needed to be done with your mental health, or, you know, the people that you chill with or talk to, speak to, whether it be in work, business, or your emotional stuff. There's a lot of emotions here and a lot of foundative energy. So I would say a lot of this is dealing within your, not necessarily just your home, but your home life. You're the embodiment of like everything that you naturally do, not your job and things like that. But this is definitely showing a little bit of success with that mental state. And bottom of the deck right now is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is all about an ending and like you can't hurt anymore. So I would say you guys have done that work. It's been really, really a process of being strong through this time. But, it's all leading to a place where you guys are going to feel more fulfillment within yourself. What is this King of Cups here for Capricorn? Seven of Cups, and then first the Four of Pentacles came out. I would say if you guys, Four of Pentacles is always holding on to something tightly and having your resources, knowing how to use them well as well, but also just being a little bit stubborn with your things sometimes. But like then the Seven of Cups comes in and that's dreamy energy and all, seeing everything that you could have and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm seeing this person's holding on to this coin a little too tightly, and there's still some things that within your emotional side that you need to kind of let go of. These cups that were once filled with something that you thought were like going to bring you emotional security probably aren't doing it for you anymore. And then on the flip side, for some of you, the message could be that what you're holding on to now is what you need to be holding on to tightly. All the things that are being visionary, like whatever you are envisioning for yourself and whatever is helping you bring about this new energy of emotional sovereignty and connection to yourself and not having to feel things the way that you have or be trapped within your mind. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, huge breakthroughs and mental clarity. I think you guys are honestly just going to be a little bit more foundational in where you take things in life and what you're dreaming for and what you're wanting to have within your mind in general is a place like something you haven't felt before. Let's go on to the Strength card. Clarify this. I'm going to take it because it tried to like fall out. We have the Ten of Cups over the Strength card. Ten of Cups is that energy where, especially with like the Strength card, took a lot to get here, or it is going to take a lot to get here, but because this is in your challenge position. But the Ten of Cups is reassurance that where you're headed is going to be a place that makes you feel bountiful. It makes you feel like you have everything. Your cups are literally filled. Your home life is positive. These people literally look out at their home life. Their kids are playing in the bottom of the deck or in the bottom of the card, and they're rejoicing in happiness, and they're like seeing a rainbow shine above them. So answered prayers as well as popping into my head, because this is also a card of prayers and like seeking things through meditation. And I did talk a lot of that about the beginning in this Venus energy about using it in your meditations or connecting with this Venus force, this loving energy, which is King of Cups and Queen of Cups, all about love and all about feeling your emotions and all that stuff. So like the compassion that you feel towards people, and like Leo, I'm saying Leo, but the Strength card is also a sign that's super compassionate and ready to just be there for somebody and be like the rock that you need to lean on. Let's get clarity on this Four of Swords. Let's got a bigger picture together. Thank you. Knight of Pentacles. A lot of you took a really long time in this space. A really, really long time. It's been like way too long. And I did mention that those energies have been present with you guys for years, and then there's still Pluto with you for years. This place where I said that you're reshaping yourself too with this Pluto energy. That's what I'm seeing for you. Some of you right now, challenge position is it's just going to take a little while to get there, to get to this area. That's kind of right here. But you are going to get there. It's as easy as that. Seven of Pentacles. Let's clarify. That one came out fast. And also dropped to the floor. We have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords was at the beginning of your reading at the bottom of the deck. Feeling trapped. not seeing things clearly, just literally engaged. But like, I think what you guys, I'm going to get one more clarifying because I'm here and I want one more. But I'm automatically seeing the Eight of Swords as the moment that you kind of took off those ropes that I was talking about and kind of started to see things a little bit more clearly, just because this person like literally is already discerning where what he planted and what he wanted to see grow. He's already like, okay, well, I'm going to take that down. And like I was saying, like take those ropes off and don't feel so strained. And that's also 8 to 7. So we're seeing a little bit of a decrease in energy, but for like a positive though, because we're not in that 8 of Swords, we're in the 7 of Pentacles mindset now. So whenever I was talking about that at the beginning of the reading, that's what you guys were actually probably doing. And that's advice from Spirit. Do not feel trapped. Do not get yourself in those mindsets again. If you need to continue to prune your tree and take off the things that don't need to be there and need to be discarded, then take that time. Clearly, like I just said, you're going to be sitting with this energy of reflection for a while, and it's in your challenge position. It's going to take some time. So there's definitely time being taken here to truly assess like what it is in your mind that you want to like take forward with you. You know, we talked so much about mental clarity, and the 8 of Swords, give or take. And honestly, I do see it as the most confusing. The 2 of Swords is usually like having a blindfold on in itself and not being able to see something, but being trapped and being confused is 10 times worse. At least with the 2 of Swords, like she's sitting there with those shields still up, ready to like go, but this person's literally like bound, and like, you know, you guys don't need to get back into an energy of that. And that's advice from Spirit. Continue to like sit with yourself in your mind, even no matter how long it takes, and get through those final things. I did say that you guys were probably having those moments where you're like, oh, this new mindset, I'm trying to adapt. I actually saw where I fell a little short, or I let ego step in, or like whatever it is that causes you to be like, oh, I need to smack my hand and do better, and because I want this new way of living. That's what you're trying to like bring in so hard for yourself, and that's what the advice from Spirit is. But that message, I'm still going to get one more clarifying, but all that came in whenever I was calling for it. So what's the final card for clarifying the 7 of Pentacles with the 8 of Swords? Queen of Wands, determination, being strong. This woman is literally like one of the strongest in the deck. It's also got this queen energy again, but now it's like externally forced. It's not internal. Like this is like bringing it about into the actual world and stuff. Like she isn't bounded by anything. If anything, like she's literally there to be like, okay, like I am me, like I am this new sense of self, like, and it like, honestly, whenever you're at a place like this, like, look at this, look how not confident, oh my gosh, if the card actually wants to come up, look how not confident this card is. Like this card is literally so restricted, and this person's like lavish as hell, sitting there in the sunlight, got her sunflowers, her blooms are starting to happen on her rod because she's actually seeing like where she's actively taking this force now. Let's clarify this 3 of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Cups. I'm going to get one more King of Cups at the beginning of this row. I would say that you're definitely working with somebody else. This King of Cups could be like literally somebody in your life. We do have the King and Queen here of Cups, like I've mentioned 1,400 times in this video, but that is showing like 2 people as a physical force that could be in here. You know, a lot of 2 of you could be working together to like reformat your minds together. Like that message is coming in really strong here with it now that this King of Cups is over this. The 3 of Pentacles is all about teamwork and collaboration, working together. It's a really good force to be reckoned with. And like I said that in the beginning, the King of Queen are a force to be reckoned with. And those 2 together, paired, if they're a force together, like whether you're male and female or male and male, like whatever your relationship like is, gender or what, out of the way, the 2 energies being represented here are showing that y'all are working together, and y'all are both kind of going almost through the same thing right now. And it's really, really slow moving for both of you, but y'all are both on this approach together. I'm definitely seeing a lot of like 2 energy here within this, just because there are these people here in between this row. So a lot of the conflicts that you might have been dealing with, you might be like dealing with more conflicts than that other person too, and that person's trying to like help you be realizing help you be more open to realizing that, like, hey, you're taking this time to work on yourself. Where can I help you? If you fall short from this, where can I suggest or like talk to you in a different way, like to help you kind of, I don't know, almost they're like a support system. I mentioned, the rock energy being there, somebody you can lean on and stuff. And like, this definitely shows that there is somebody there that you can lean on. This person is also like helping, not even helping. This person is also emotionally savvy with his own collected energy. He's able to, or whoever this energy is there to have the mirrored energy that you have overall, like, because this king and queen is mirroring each other, and they're there as a really good support system for you right now. So I'm gonna move on from that because like I'm going way too in on that, but like that was coming in so much for some of you. Let's clarify this Knight of Wands. What is this? Really quick movement forward. What's this new idea? All the way to the floor she went. You have Judgment, wake up card, but it's also a card of rejoicing. Judgment over the night. Let's get one more clarifying card. What are you guys realizing? You're realizing something. And this is the final outcome position. So Page of Swords, new ideas, new mindsets. The Page of Swords is always thinking of the next new way of doing something too, or having ideas. She chats too much. She talks a lot. So a lot of you guys are probably actively communicating. And this night, I said it was looking back at this 5, and I felt like it was going back through this energy really quick. I think you guys are actively going back and over this and reassessing it in your mind, and y'all are realizing things in a different way, because Judgment is all about realization. It's all about karma, and like, I wouldn't say a cycle ending, but it's all about those cycles being realized if they're being dealt with the Page of Swords, or anything that's tied to karma. You guys are actively trying to like destroy that. And a lot of you guys have had problems with your mental and your like physical world being at war with each other so much in the beginning of this reading. And I think that where you guys, since this is that victory, that's the energy that the Knight was bringing. That was the new, fresh, really quick, rapid pace towards something, the creativity, the mindsets, the overall energy that needed to change. It helped birth this new idea, and it's almost like literally somebody else has been just screaming it into your head. So a lot of you guys might be getting downloads from your guides and things like that as well, saying like, hey, take this new opportunity to clear this out because you thought about this too much. Yep. 6 of Swords, turning away from this energy, moving away from like something that's a little bit rougher and into a calmer space, and taking honestly all that you need into this new space. And sometimes when we take things that we don't need, we realize later on that we have even more, or if we take the things that we need on our journey, we realize then that we need to still clean up some of those old things that we took with us, because those don't always continue to serve us too. And all right, let's get this clarity on this Queen of Cups. I feel like they're so like, this reading I feel like is a little bit all over the place, and even my energy feels so scattered and so like exactly like this reading is intense for you guys. This energy you've been feeling is intense. It's got me feeling a little bit confused, like towards what I want to say, where I want to do. We got the 3 of Cups coming out, clarifying the Queen of Cups. 3 of Cups was in your pre-shuffle a good bit. Cheersing. Happy time, celebration. And another card flying out to the floor. That's going to be our clarifier. 4 of Swords. So we have the 4 of Swords again in this row. In this same row, and it's with the Queen of Cups. I mean, you guys should be happy at this new place that you've arrived at. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of you are arriving at this space very, very soon, or have already taken the steps toward it. You guys are actively realizing it. I talked about so much about just this mental dexterity and this, like, being able to like succumb to these new challenges and these new mindsets and re-alter your brain and program yourself to become a different version of you. And it shows that it's already like flourishing in your inner world. You know what I mean? Like the communications and the connections that you have with people are working better. Your communication and your connection to yourself is already better. You're able to discern and move on wisely from what does not serve you, what you need in your life, and what you do not need. And if there's ever like a hold up or a halt that's saying like, oh, I do need this, then you know automatically to hop on this horse again and go for that energy that's saying like, no, I need to clear things up again, because the state that you want to be in overall is the two of these combined. Whatever that means to you guys, if this is a connection between people, this is definitely one worth keeping around. But it's also really just all about you, Capricorn. I think a lot of you guys have had so much of a burden on your plate, and now that we've kind of went through this, your season might have been rough in general for the whole month that we had to deal with Capricorn energy. It could have been just really intense, but maybe a lot of this energy started to peel off of you guys in January, and that was where you were made to make these assessments and change the way that you're wanting to live, because clearly the other ways were much more outdated and not a way that you wanted to be, kind of like serving yourself for, like not pulling yourself into, like not helping you get towards your highest amount of energy and where you need to be. There's so much reflection here, and even within your pre-shuffle, there was so much reflection. So I think you guys are going to be, in February, continuing on that journey of reflection and finally cleaning up those last things, those things that you realized in January, and all that energy that you've like just come out of. It's got you moving in a new direction that is going to have your mind so much more at balance, and that's going to create balance within yourself. That is going to be your overall message that I have for you from this, is like creating balance within yourself. I talked a lot in the beginning about mind and heart being connected together, and this is all literally mind and heart being together. I know we don't have like things like the Lovers or any crazy major arcana cards, but the strength that it's going to take to get here, like these two energies together are so strong. So if you have somebody that you can be connected to and help you get through this, definitely like tap into that. But at the same time, whenever you start to feel all these energies and these pressures on yourself, remember that you are synergized with your mind, your heart, your whole entire body. You don't have to feel the ways that you used to feel. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do anymore, Capricorn. It's all literally being written by you. I just heard that Natasha Bedingfield, like little part of her song where she's like, the rest is still unwritten. Like, you guys have a whole new journey in front of you. And I think it's time to really get into that mode where, if you know that you're trying to bring in a new future for yourself, or just new mindsets, new ways of being, and getting that mental chatter to kind of hush and like finally listening to yourself, overall, your biggest message is going to be to sit with yourself and really assess, and then actively do that work, do whatever it needs and whatever it takes to pull in this new energy for your mind, just overall. Because whenever all that syncs up, then your outward world and everything that you start to magnetize and attract to you is going to be of that same nature. You're going to like get people in your life that are on the same vibration, and not in the mindset of where your mind used to be. Because in your mind's old habit and old way of thinking, you're pulling in those people that are going to mirror those ways of thinking, and like all that for you, and like what you're trying to attract in your world isn't going to like manifest in the best way. And I talk so much about this Venus energy. Like a lot of you guys really need to be working with Venus right now and feeling this energy. And maybe even so, like maybe this Venus energy is what's going to help kind of like bring this in for you guys for the month of February. I do like all that. I do have an affirmation that I wrote out for you guys. I'm just going to get some of these cards out the way. That is the overall messages that I have for you guys, but continue to do that work on yourselves. I guess I can't stress that enough, but I can't also sit here and ramble on about shit, because I'm like, I tried to do y'all's reading quite a few times, and like the energy is just literally all over the place. So a lot of you guys are still in your minds right now. You gotta like silence that and quiet it up a little bit, and like everything's going to work out in the end. This is the affirmation that I have for you for this month. The time I've taken to pause and reflect has opened new doors of opportunity to live as my authentic self. I am here now, confident and determined, as I am guided away from any challenges and toward new mindsets and ideas. I move into a state of mental mastery for only the highest of abundant energy. That's all I have for you this month, Capricorn. I hope you guys have a wonderful February, and I will see you guys in March.